live from downtown Monterey.
Okay, I was ready, and then she had to now. I don't know. I'll check with you. What were you doing? I was writing. Okay.
Can you see anything? No.
I understand.
Notes packages out, please. No, I asked AI to give me a picture that demonstrates, what was it? Dominant, recessive, and incomplete dominance? Oh, and codominance. And that's what it showed me. I don't know what it is, but apparently it's imposing. And I, for one, welcome the presence of our time-traveling robot overlords. Okay, no packages out. This is not it. This is not it. So, review phenotype, physical appearance of the individual, short-haired cat, genotype, set of genes possessed by an organism, L, capital L, lowercase l for a heterozygous long-haired kitten. Allele are the different forms of a gene. You always use the same letter, uppercase and lowercase for dominant and recessive. Some new terms. Homozygous means the alleles are the same. So homo meaning the same. Heterozygous would mean that the alleles are different. So homozygous alleles are the same. Heterozygous. The alleles are different. This would be known in Mendel's time. He would have called these true breeding, because they would always give the same results. And then heterozygous would have been non-true breeding. And then what I think I've referred to the term Mendelian genetics, and this is traits which a dominant masks a recessive. So non-Mendelian genetics in when they don't completely mask. And we're going to focus on monohybrid crosses, although we'll probably get up to a dihybrid cross. It starts getting very, very complicated very, very quickly. You can imagine with thousands of genes. So a monohybrid cross only considers 2 alleles. A Punnett square considers only 1 trait. Although actually when we do codominance, we'll consider more than 2 alleles, now that I think about it. So we're going to very quickly do some of those. And then we're going to calculate ratios, types of offspring, both phenotypic and genotypic. So what are the ratios of what they look like and the ratios of what their genetics are? Could you put the laptop? Just close it, put it away. Put it in your bag. So, this is a fairly simple one that you can show just that, but I'd like you to do that, replicate that in the Punnett square. The end of last day, I believe I asked you, so put it in the Punnett square. Actually, no. Let's do the offspring. There's at least a little bit more offspring. Interesting. So this would be the, say, AA. We've got the parent generation. This would be the F1. What would this then be? F2. So give me the F2. And give me the phenotypic ratio. With what they are.
What's P?
The genotypic ratio. And that should work. Both numbers and percents. And just so I can see you all at once, very quickly, attendance. Alejandra, Ariel. 1 second, Ben, 30, Felix, yeah. Hugo, John, Jonathan. Kieran. Lisa. Matthew. Naomi. Shahir. Timmy. William K. And then William Wren. And then, nope. Zane and Zoe. Zoe, question.
Yes. Oh, yes. Why does it say, why is the P there? Like AAPAA?
Oh, parent generation.
Oh.
Yeah. And then their offspring was the F1. Yep, Timmy. Question. What does phenotype mean? Earlier up on the page. Science 10. Toolkit. Group maker 3. Sure, that'll work. No, that's too easy. Toolkit, group maker 2. There you go. Grab a partner and do it on a board so I can see your ratios. I can go around and make sure everybody's got it all correct. Find your person, Bertie. You can either go lone wolf and do it on your own, or you can join another group. Grab a pen. Go to a spot on the board. This is why I do this. I hear the cries of, do you know how to do this? Perfect. You're allowed to look at other groups. Well done.
Okay, just tell me if it looks wrong.
Well, yeah, obviously there's a question, but I think like
Ratio.
Ratio.
Phenotype.
Now, ratio is like a fraction. Where did my pen go? Excellent. Woo! Oh, so this is 50. People know how to do Punnett squares.
Is incorrect or correct?
Oh, ask other people. I don't know. This is like a whole teaching method where I'm not wanting to tell you anything. Yeah, do that now.
No.
You know what the word phenotype, right?
It's
genes, right? Like it's on your sheet. You can look it up.
always like
Scan your
Right,
sheet.
yeah, you're right.
What is the word phenotype? Right, so what is the physical appearance and everything there? You need that first. Ooh.
Is your info? This is
Uh,
phenotype, and the
yeah.
other thing's a phenotype.
Zoe, you're on absolutely the right track, but instead of saying dominant, say what the trait is. Don't erase the whole thing, but just say what the trait is. We only know this. What is the trait of A?
yellow.
And what's the trait of little a? There you go. Apparently it's vampire eye colors. I don't know. Who has yellow eyes? You have to be very sick. Wolves? Wolves. Ooh, werewolves. Yeah.
William Bryce. How do you do this? What?
Yeah, no.
Geo,
Because
I'm gonna make it more. See, you can have your kid. No, that's not work, bro.
oh, this one is yellow.
Yeah, but those little
Excellent. You did it with percents. Can you do it with numbers? Think of it like a simplest fraction.
But yeah, the shoe back to make sure.
Isn't this also phenotype? Phenotype would be, this is 25%, and this one is 50.
Okay, so the phenotype
ratio is 75%.
Okay, I see lots of good phenotype ratios. Now you need to work on the genotypic ratio. Now you know what ratios are. There's two types of ratios I want. I want the numbers and I want the percents. Both. So do that for the genotypic ratio. Now genotype. Genotype. Not phenotype. You got good phenotype. You were the first group, I think.
What's genotype?
Is that good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one will be 50 because they're cute.
What's genotype?
So what's the genotype? We got one group that's already on it.
Go
Do we exist right
Yes. There you go.
Do some.
So like,
I feel like we gotta hear more of it. Oh, you guys know what you're doing.
genotypes are like response. Yeah.
The only thing we tend to do, just so you get in the habit of it, put that one in the middle. Always put the heterozygous in the middle, the capital, like all capitals, heterozygous, and then lowercase a. But if you do it the other way, it's not
So
wrong.
do we do 50% A? Or just 50%?
It's just
Or 75% A?
irregular. So what's the genotype?
75%.
What's the genotype? He is good.
I think it's just A. And this is just also.
Yeah, they are. Perfect. So what's their ratio? How many capitals do you have? Well, one capital. There you go. And what about the last one? There you go. You guys got it?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, to these ratios?
I cannot write. Man.
They're like weird. I don't know who's Is that
Oh, no, I mean.
Wait, Ariel, you're doing
No, that's not contact. That's
I'm doing AP Bio.
Because you can only do 80 bio 11. Like you can only do 80 bio 12. So.
AP Bio.
That's what I said.
Are you going to Ariel, are you going to
No, I'm going to computer science.
There's no point in doing science.
There's no point doing what? What did you say?
I
Did I
did- I
stab you now? In my own house? You betray me in my classroom? You're in my house now. You have to take Chem 11, Chem 12, Physics 11, Physics 12. You'll be in AP. You are never leaving. Pardon? I don't. But I took it in high school. You've heard my story. I went to physics, and then they all smelled. Yeah. That is the fate I contend saying to.
She's going into computer science, so it's way worse.
Oh, that's way worse. Okay. Thank you, Bert. Good. You actually ripped that up really fast, so I think you guys are going to find this not too bad, way faster than last year's. So another simple one, Punnett square. We've got a parent cross. We've got a cute little long-haired cat. We've got a cute little short-haired cat. They're going to mate, have kittens. So predict the F1 offspring, and they're going to produce F2 offspring. This is going to be extremely similar to the last one. But that's for practice, so those of you who took a few moments to begin are like, what are we doing? This should give you a nice little... Now, somewhere around here, I think I actually have the offspring. There we go.
Yeah, because
There we go.
that would be that'd be yeah.
Fill in the genotype. Fill in the phenotypes. You'll have to write them out with words and not put in... and below, we're going to want the phenotypic ratio. And the genotypic ratio. Once again, both numbers and percents. And this would probably be easier to talk about once I know everybody's done it, in terms of we're all working off the same square. So new people, do that on the board again. Grab them. Don't restart my device. Ben, you can go lone wolf and do it on your own, or you can join any group you like.
What is this?
So the very next one, same thing.
Acuérdate lo que te conté.
Yeah.
Ven a la
That's okay. We can.
Hugo, are you with Sakir?
Yes.
There you go.
Sahir.
And everybody else got their partner?
Matthew, Matthew, can you
Wait.
chuck that when you're done?
Yeah, so you build
So,
It's fine.
just to start us off well, what's the genotype of this little kitten?
uppercase L
Uppercase L, lowercase l. And I'm going to do it written like that so we don't get confused with the number 11. And is it long hair or short hair? Long hair.
And then two lowercase. Like that.
Okay, fill in the Punnett square, and then give the ratios below. Yeah.
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 Just right.
Okay, sorry.
Because the parent is L.
And then do right long hair to short hair.
parents are
Just to be clear, what generation is this? Parents. What generation is this? F1. Which one do I want the Punnett square on? F2.
Oh wait.
The F1's way too easy.
Okay. Is it not gonna be the same as?
Yeah, you've got the F2. Because that's F1.
What was the F1 squared?
So we're gonna mate the F1. So you've got it.
But what would the parents do? Not the same.
You say.
Would the parents do?
But yeah, because it's
That's it.
Parents to the F1 were these ones.
What would the Punnett square look like?
Oh, it would look like that, and the lowercase, and then we'd all give this 100%. That's just too easy to do. That's all. Once you have it and you have your ratios, you can have a seat and fill in your notes. Yeah.
Or just ratios.
Percents and numbers. Because you can be asked for both, so we gotta practice on both. So you have phenotypes and genotype ratios. Woo!
Yeah, like that. And then lowercase. No. One more.
doesn't it mean
no, yeah, you're right.
Let me see. Yeah. Let me see this.
Like I didn't write it down here, but like it should be like
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, except this one.
What?
And then 1 to 2 to 1.
How many long hairs do you have in that?
Beside it.
What's the phenotype of this one?
And then 25 to 50 to 25.
No, no, what's the phenotype? What does it look
Does
like?
that make sense?
Long hairs?
It's like
Pardon? Well, it's, which one's dominant? One. So what would this one be? Right. There you go. One, two. There you go.
It's like we had the same question.
Beautiful. Dun, 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 dun.
That you brought up.
the one inside of my hair. And it's so bad that I can't see the inside anything. I want to cry. Oh,
Dun, 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 dun.
Two sizes, I guarantee that child is going to be able to every single time.
Like the first like they're all
Oh yeah, except they're kittens. So they're just younger. That's the reason why I did that. Because that one is the same as that parent.
right.
Because we're only looking at hair, not color. Huh? Although, okay. Everybody seem to get that well? And quickly, well done. What are these technically? Like, these are the parents. They undergo a process of meiosis, and what are these? Not zygotes would be in here. Zygotes what you get after the egg. Gametes. So these are the, little spermies. Here are the eggs. They're joining together to make embryos. We get some long hairs. We get a short hair. Although I'm questioning my decision about calling that a short. I guess. I mean, technically, I looked on the website. It's technically a short hair. So those are gametes. So those are not the parents. We tend to put the parents in here. Put those together, and you'll see this pattern when you have heterozygous children mating. Now, again, breeders, we have a trait we want. So we take the children and mate them together. Some of them will die, but that is a risk we are willing to take. Phenotypic ratio, we're going to get to long hair to short. So phenotype, everybody had 3 to 1, 75%, 25%. Always define your ratio. So by putting long and short, I don't have to say that that 3 refers to the long and that one because I'm showing it in every case. If you don't do it that way, then at some point you have to define which one's which, so don't forget that part if you didn't. And then by long-standing tradition, you can put these in any order. It's not wrong, but the homozygous dominant is usually first. The heterozygous is next. And then the homozygous recessive is last. And you will always get a 2 to 1. Oops. A 1 to 2 to 1 ratio, or 25%, 50%, 25%. Birdie? Question? What are you arguing about?
Don't argue.
Yeah.
No.
They started telling me.
Oh, okay. Question on it? Jimmy?
How'd you know when it's like 25? Is it always gonna be like the same?
Oh, everybody's popping off the percent, so I didn't define it. If every one of these is out of 1, what's the, there's 4 total. So every one of these is out of 4.
Oh.
So for that one, it's 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, and 1 out of 4. If we were doing the phenotypic ratio, 1 out of 4 is 25%. Does that make sense now? Yeah. That's important because we will do eventually dihybrid crosses. And a dihybrid cross where you consider 2 traits doesn't have 4, it has 16. And so then everything's out of 16, you get very different percentages. We start off with a nice simplest case because then we can discuss all the complicated things. Good. Do this. A homozygous 2-horned mare, not a unicorn, the much rarer dicorn, is crossed with a homozygous 1-horned stallion, unicorn. The F1 generation are all unicorns. Which gene is dominant? What are the genotypes of the parents? What are the gametes from the parents? What is the phenotype of the F1 generation? What is the genotype of the F1 generation? Come on. Next page, everybody. With a Punnett square, show a cross between 2 of the F1 to the F2. Give me the phenotypic ratio and the genotypic ratio. Would you like to do this up there with partners? Or like talk to the person next to you and do it where you are? Yeah, you can talk about the next and then you do it where you are. I'm going to ask you questions about it though, so got some minutes to get started. Drawing unicorns is not required. Also, I don't like the way that wrapped. Why did it do that? That's weird. Also, just to help, when I'm looking at everybody's and everybody can compare, what letter are we going to use for this trait?
H.
Excellent. So dominant would then be capital H. Recessive. What would then the letter be for the recessive? Lowercase h. Oh, and when it says which gene is dominant, don't just write H. Like what's the phenotype it's asking?
Which games from parents? So this is the first parent. I don't know the answer. So what's that one answer? I'll put it below that.
You just did it on the previous page. Where are the gametes? Right.
What gametes from parents? What does that mean?
What would the gametes be you get from the parents?
What is a gamete? Oh,
How do we know which one is like dominant?
gametes, I don't know.
A homozygous 2-horned stallion is crossed with a homozygous 1-horned stallion. What's the F1 generation?
Oh, because it's like a two-horned mare is.
Which trait is being masked, and which one do you see?
One horn.
Yeah, one corn.
One horn is being masked?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which one is being masked? There you go.
Okay.
The die corn.
Uh-huh.
Because everybody knows we go riding around on a bicycle. Oh no, I'm just phrasing everything the most annoying. I'm not telling you the answer way possible. Yeah.
No,
I'm going to ask you. But if I told you the answer, that's not cheating.
What is the feudal?
No. You got this. Your guesses sound very obvious. Why are you doing it on a separate piece of paper? That's one of the
Oh, sperm. What did you look at these? That's just you're gonna get out.
Okay, here. If they're all H, then theoretically.
question, concern, existential crisis.
Yeah,
On the
that's
description.
like a Miss Linsky one.
Would, sorry, what?
You said,
That's like a Miss Linsky one.
questions, concerns, and advice.
She does. Which trait comes out at the end in the description? Which one masks the other? Pardon? No. Which trait? Like dicorn or unicorn?
So how's it a science? If it's just
Yeah.
like.
F1 generational unicorn. So what's the dominant trait? There you go. Yeah.
Hey, what's the
Like,
say again?
why is it called?
Those are the actual G's. So like uppercase, lowercase, H. Yeah. That's the G.
the ratio now.
It's gonna ask you for them later on.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a second side.
You're
You have a start. I need to go get a stick and then.
you and I are going.
Question. Sure. Existential crisis.
Dude, me too.
Are you gonna eat meat?
Where did you get this try?
We all got the same surface.
Which one is masking the other trait? So what are the children?
Yeah, I'm not
They are. What trait are they? They're all unicorns. Which is the dominant trait?
I'm not going to the science. I'm going to like science.
It's my worst grade by like 13 points.
Are we done? Because we're not.
We're talking about how science professors by taking 3 science.
Yeah. Well, Zane is taking all the sciences.
Yeah, I don't have a single other course.
Single other course. No, we're gonna take out a climbing for exercise.
AP physics and normal physics as well, just kind
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Normal physics.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, what if I just want to be
Oh, that's why you're taking biology AP.
Mr. Newfeld.
Taking regular.
Like science, mathematics. Here,
I'm gonna take that on top of
Yeah. That's a Brentwood.
Okay.
Do you need to graduate? No.
What's a Brentwood?
They have to take social studies in your grade 11 here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, you also need to pick up your like indigenous studies.
I already did that this year.
you only have to do one in your senior years. Like,
Yeah, just one. Yeah. But they don't want you to like totally not ruin social studies. When I was in high school, I thought all social studies courses were stupid. And now that I have seen the world over decades, I realized I probably should have paid more attention to what was happening.
How do you also last question if I already shut off here? If I ever have to go, something else?
Yeah. You should go to university council.
No, I'm not saying that I do now.
Yeah, you go when you do. You go, yeah, I'm sorry, advisor. So you're right. So you leave the talking pillar and you also talk to university.
My whole like
Advisor, and then because then you have to look, what is it that you want the person in university? You want to make sure you have.
if a teacher cannot handle a question,
I'm gonna do the first page. Okay, bring the attention. We're gonna do the first page, and then I'm gonna give you a bit more time to make sure you can do the second page. First one, which one's dominant? Jonathan. John. Unicorn. A lot of people asked, how do you know? Jonathan, how did you know?
Because you came here and told us.
No. I confirmed, but how did you know? Or at least I confirmed with one of you. You might have just heard it.
Because it's like, it's the dominant one out of like all the generations are all unicorns.
But how do you know it's the dominant? No. Let John answer. John's just got to think. He's on the spot. It's $1 million question. What in the description tells you? What in the description tells you? John, you're not being very respectful to John.
F1 generations are all unicorns.
Yeah. So if all of the offspring have one trait, and the parents have two traits, and the offspring that you see given off, that is going to be the dominant trait. You can always get that from the description if you're given that kind of a description. Genotypes of the parents. Let's see. Matthew. Ooh, sound. Don't like sound. Yeah. And Ben, I would hate to have to take that away. Please put it away. Gametes from the parents. Hugo.
Uppercase H, lowercase a.
Yeah. The parents are only providing one gamete from one parent and one gamete from another parent. They're relatively prosaic. What is the phenotype of the F1 generation? Area.
Oh, the 1 horse stallion or 2 horse stallion?
Yes, which one?
Oh, 1 horse stallion.
What is that called?
Capital H.
No. Like, what do you call a one horned
Unicorn?
unicorn? Also, just to be clear, this is a monohybrid cross. So, you wouldn't say a one-horned stallion, because what is a stallion?
a horse.
No, what kind of horse?
A male horse.
Male horse. So stallion, male, a mare, whoops, yeah, female. That's not the trait you're looking for genetically. You're not looking for genetic male and genetic female. You are ignoring that, so you can't say it's a stallion. You don't know. That's a completely different trait. We're only looking at the number of horns. What is the genotype of the F1? Kieran.
Yeah, all H, uppercase H, lowercase h.
All? Yeah.
Yeah. No, uppercase H, lowercase h.
Right. When you said all, you implied like there was more than two, I thought. It just seemed a little odd. I just wanted to clarify. Yeah. Oh, good. Second one, with a Punnett square, show the cross between do the F1. How many are done the second side? One, two, three. Okay, a few more minutes. Do the second side because that's the interesting side. Show a cross between two. So we're going to take those heterozygous unicorns, mate them together, and get our ratios. Last one is if there are 80 offspring.
That's a lot of babies.
They go to town. They have so many babies. How many would be those different types?
Oh,
Percentages. Well, no, not percentages. I said 80, so I want numbers.
No, I know that. How can I be one of the okay. That's mutation.
What? Give me the best answer.
F2. Okay. Because the second generation
Best answers. In fact, for this side,
What's 1/4? What's
That's a 30.
Yeah. Okay. So how many got? How many? What is 1/4? It's number 6.
and for the second side, I want you to do it on the board because I want to see that last question. Find your people. Find your people. I like this one because it put the Williams together, which is nice and symmetrical.
Oh no. Alright. You could have potted a square with 80 offspring.
You could. You can fill in the numbers. That would help probably.
Yeah. Well, no.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Matthew.
Okay, drop.
Can we do the questions?
Okay, so is this one? Okay.
Zane.
Like this?
Don't throw it away.
Yeah, don't worry.
Give me another one.
Everybody got it? Excellent.
Oh, look at it. So great that
Yeah, they're really good. They're second in the province.
That looks right.
And they barely lost the bench, and they're like number 1 ranked.
80? I mean, we could have.
Yeah, they are.
Is 75% knowledge
No, look. There has to be more 1.5 points than I
Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want the numbers out of 80 at the very bottom of your sheet. If there were 80 offspring, how many would be dicorns, heterozygous, 1.5 corns, homozygous, recessive, and heterozygous recessive?
Are we doing that in our group? Like,
Yep. In your group. Well done, Felix.
No, heterogeneous is different. Homogeneous is
You got your sheet. And I think everybody
I'm capable.
has the correct one, so I'm not going to worry about that one. What have we got for phenotypic ratio? 75. Don't say dominant recessive. though. You have to put the traits. What's the dominant trait?
Unicorn, and then dicorn.
So we
Define your traits though.
because
Like you say 75, 25. Of what?
So we see that
Somewhere you just gotta put it.
these
That's all.
actually overlap. That's it. Yeah. Okay, so it's actually not 22. It's actually 20. But that's if we do all this. What about this?
What's heterozygous? Tell me how we're all heterozygous.
It's like, huh?
You don't know what heterosexual is?
What do you mean?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't know what.
We have to do it 80 times.
Now, if you're having trouble with the last one, what's 80 divided by 4? 20. So just put 20 in each one, and you can count up.
Oh,
So how many are dicorns? Which one of these? What's that one? Unicorn. What are those ones? Unicorns. What are those ones? Unicorns. What are those ones? Dicorns. There you go. That's your question.
so 60.
How many?
Recessive.
What does heterozygous mean? Here you go.
Like different.
Different. So how many of these have different types of alleles?
Two.
Two. So how many?
Good job.
Oh, half.
Which is
40.
40.
Yes,
Good.
I'm so good at I did.
How many have 1.5 corns?
I mean, wait. What do you mean? I mean, the dicorns would have at least 1.5 corns.
No. They don't have at least. They have 1.5 corns.
How can we do the mutations they have?
Oh, is it 20 because it's 1.5? Dicorns are 1.5.
It would be, there are unicorns and there are dicorns. There are no 1.5 corns. That would be 0. And then, how many would be homozygous recessive? What does homozygous mean?
Wait, no.
Same. How many have the recessive trait and they're both the same? One of them, so that would be how many? 20. How many could be heterozygous recessive?
None.
None. You could be heterozygous and dominant, you can't be heterozygous recessive. It's a nonsense term. So that's just touching. Zoe? Ariel?
What? You already did it.
Yeah, I know, but you're having almost too much fun.
Oh.
Too much fun.
You just lost it. Yeah, we're having so much fun.
So, homozygous are ones that they're both the same. And then of those, which one's recessive?
The dicorn.
That one, yeah. So that's recessive. So how many are homozygous recessive? 20. Yeah.
Sorry.
Next one. Pretty. We've just done classical Mendelian genetics. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Because now we're going to do some non-classical, non-Mendelian genetics. Here. Focus. We are going to use probably, I think, I have color in here somewhere. Where is it? Anyway. So an incomplete dominance, I didn't mean to put a period there. You cannot completely mask the other trait. I don't even need to put another. It says the other trait on the other side. So this is the kind of case in which you could get a 1.5 corn, where one trait tries to mask it and it doesn't quite go all the way. You get more blending with these types of traits. A red flower is mated with a white flower. All the offspring in this particular way, if it would be incomplete, would be what color?
Red.
Yeah. No.
Oh no. Red
Pink.
masks white.
So this is incomplete dominance. We have a red flower and a white flower. What do we notice about the alleles that we use? What's different from how we were using them before?
Oh, there's
Yep. They're both uppercase. They're both dominant, and they're both dominant. They're both uppercase. What else?
They're both homozygous.
In this case, yeah, they're both homozygous. If we had a dominant and recessive, what would the letters be between the two of them?
R, W.
We had unicorns and dicorns, and we used H for both of them. We have red and white, and we are not using red R for both of them. They get their own letter. They're both equally dominant in a way, because the offspring aren't red, the offspring aren't white. If they're heterozygous, they are pink. So neither one's considered completely dominant, neither one's considered completely recessive, and so you get an offspring that's in between the two. So we use different letters. And both of them being uppercase. Heterozygous trait is a blend. I'm going to have to do that in pink. Of the dominant and recessive. And the dominant trait is what we would call incomplete. So, this is our parent cross.
Wait, can you go up?
Yep.
What's the parent cross?
RR and WW.
Oh, when it's both.
Yeah, I'm just saying that is going to be our parent cross. I'm going to ask you. I'm setting up because I'm going to ask you to do it below. I would like you to get out your coloring pencils, and I would like you to make little flowers. I would like you to show the colors, and I would like you to show the parent cross here. And I would like you to show the F1 generation here. You need red, pink, and something that's not quite white, but you can pretend is white on a white page and call white.
That's not quite white.
So, show that on there. So, parent cross here, F1 generation there. Now, if you need it, I think I have pencil crayons here.
Wait, I want this one.
Where am I?
Oh, I'm colorblind. I'm colorblind.
but I've got some.
Green, red, pink, and something with white.
And something that's like off-white. Maybe you could draw it in like light black and then the rest of it's white. Where did I put it? Huh. Ah, that's where I put it.
You're definitely the kind of mofo that eats.
Hold it. I
How are you gonna paint with a white color in a white paper, William?
So are we going for runs then? What?
I got it drawing.
My running shoe. That's true.
Okay, let's see.
Do you want F1 instead of F2?
Yeah, I know. I was single Valentine's Day.
Oh, maybe they took it. Like if you left them outside.
Who needs a Valentine's when you have
You want the F1 generation as well as the F2?
Didn't you take it back?
No, like, I took it back, and then they were like, I know who you are. And then I asked Miss Morgan,
you come back?
and she said later.
No.
Just never did.
Are we doing the F1 as well as the F2?
Yep, F1 and parent cross.
Wait, F1.
Yeah, so parent cross, RR and WW, and then take the children, put them in here, and draw little pictures of what the flowers look like in each square.
I can't draw that.
You can draw.
Instead of the like.
Okay, instead of using the lovely photos I picked, I will draw. And I will show you how easy it is. Parent cross. Wow. We have R, which we go to R and R. And we have, now what am I going to use for off-white? Gray. Greetings. Welcome to class. Ladies and gentlemen, see here. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen and honored guests. I always forget to correct my pronouns. Now, to draw them,
What did you say?
Draw the flowers. You're not supposed to write it.
I have drawn the flowers. I do not expect you to have amazing artistic talent, but I want you to visually see it. Bertie, so how will we change the drawing for the offspring?
Make it have two flowers.
That is not the key trait I'm looking for. You could to make it better, but if
Make them pink.
we would make them say louder, pink. We will simply go to pink and go, this is our new flower.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, and look at that. Not only does that show the genotype with the red and the white, but we see that the phenotype is different. Oh. Oh. Now continue that on the next one. Also, as you're doing this, I would like to show you to show me when you're done. And you can use the rest of the time to study for your quiz on Saturday. You have a quiz on Saturday. Your quiz is not on this.
What's it on?
Your quiz is on transcription and translation, which you've had a worksheet on and a project. 4 Saturdays class, you have a quiz, you have a worksheet. I'm not going to be here on Saturday because I have a really good reason. So be prepared to do a worksheet and do the quiz. Show me when you have your trait set up. Oh, hold it. Do I want you to do the second side as well? Is there a second side to this one?
What's the second square for?
No, we'll leave codominance the next day, I think. So, fill out that last square. I want to see it. What different colors? Those are the same colors. Is that pink? Oh, I see, but you did it with shading. But also fill in the letters.
Oh, because I drew it. Oh, did I do it right?
Now you have to draw them. I don't see any flowers. Where's the flowers? Yes, where's these children? Where are the children's flowers? You did, and they're pink even.
Not this one.
We'll probably that one's right. These are.
That's right. That's exactly right. And you even put the phenotypic and phenotypic ratios down. You are a star. Well done.
What about this? What about this? They're kind of dopey, but like.
All of these flowers are the same. And these are all different. Show me, Susie. Done?
So am I good?
Yeah. Oh, okay, you crossed everything out. You've drawn no flowers. What are you doing? Why are you crossing things out? First of all, why are you taking notes on pen? That's just crazy stuff. Well, you make a mistake. Pencil. Pencil for everything. Who told you to ever take notes on pen? What? They're liars. We have an internal war with English teachers because they tell you to use pen and they're wrong. Some sort of weird thing happened in the 1800s. You know, if you're in the UK, has anybody here gone to school in the UK? Do you get awarded a pen at your school? Yeah, it's a big deal. I saw one that was like YouTube televised. And I was like, what is this? It was some school and they were awarding pens. It was like, that's a huge deal. We don't have that. I would award you with a pencil. Maybe you should get a golden pencil.
This man's. And it say like Mr. Luther, I mean like the year.
Say Mr. Luther.
Ooh.
And then like you like, I think also like kind of like it's high, so like like being like on the side.
Yeah, same thing, yeah. Golden.
We didn't realize chemistry 12. The chemistry 12 APs got t-shirts for whatever reason. That said varsity dancing. And so my class was like, no way, man. So they got shirts that said future leaders. They're doing it for fun.
Junior varsity thing.
No, intramural. That means you just enjoy it. Good. Okay. You got your first one started.
Okay.
But these
Like, I didn't
These
do the
all
letters.
look the same.
We don't want to do the letters.
The flowers have to look different.
Your thumb like that.
Well, what color will this be?
Yeah,
Hold it. Oh, this, I didn't see your doubles there. I was looking for your W is so faint.
Literally.
I can't see it. Okay, no, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
My thumb feel like.
Yeah, Mike. Ow! not my finger.
Why do you? No, put in the letters. I think that would make it easier. Letters and pictures. As soon as you have it, please come and show it to me, and then you can start to study.
Oh, here you go.
You took my.
I need the pictures of the flowers.
Oh, well, this doesn't work, so I have to use my pen.
No, I demand pink.
But this is.
So,
This is pink. No, I.
No, they're all look the same. So artistically, if you color it completely, it's red. How would you show it?
White and white. I don't have white.
You just do it live.
Do it, yeah, do it. Do it left. What are those?
No, why did you break the tent?
He doesn't really want to happen.
I did it. Through my artistic abilities, I've created Hank.
Where? Let me see.
That
That is pink. But that one, what color's that one supposed to be?
Oh wait, hold on. Incorrect. Can you pretend that's not there?
Fix it.
I can't.
Look. If you were to pretend this is red, and then if this was red, that would be a red flower. But then, if you want to show pink, you can just do,
Oh,
right?
that's a very good idea.
Less. Okay, but what color is it? Show that.
It is. It's very red though.
No, it's not. It's, you erased it. It's actually more pink than the pink is now. In fact, if you made the pink red and then erased it, it would look pink. That would have been a solution.
You know, look.
Beautiful.
You wake up, you look outside, you see a road sign. It says,
This is weird. My dice
Here, you have a single
color other than white.
No, I don't need it.
Oh, that is so cool. Now that's extending high.
that's all right.
Yep. Jimmy, I need to see yours. This one. Go.
What did you use?
But
What did you use?
I need to see the colors. Like you're actually colored it.
Can I have?
No, let's see, I did it right.
We did. Oh my god.
So all of these, you think, now take
Yes, I
those.
did.
Yep.
Nope, I've done it.
Actually, use those colors. Now take those.
Yeah.
This is the parent generation. You get the children. Make them together. Show the colors. Yep. Yep.
Noof, I've completed it.
No, but
I don't have a white pen.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. That works well. Yeah.
So that's like extended eyes.
That will extending. Maybe high.
This year, I'm pretty sure it's wrong.
Yeah, I gotta say, hi, Val.
Oh, no, you're right. No, there's a guy who can measure that ratio,
Yeah.
but how much estrogen is in the room is affected by it.
Well, but it's not more than one.
Oh, no, I know, but it is really dominated by your genetics, like how much you get in the womb.
Or depending on what the mother's eating at the time.
Could be. Oh, yeah, I know. There's a guy who's done a study who says he can predict who's going to win a race, but it's not whether or not you have it; it's by how much that gap exists.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's affected by no one.
Yeah. Because when you work here, what I said is all of these can be affected by the environment, and we're considering just as strict genetic traits because I wanted to offset the pure genetic, fate aspect of that because all of those could be affected by different amounts of environment. Because if you affect hormone levels in your growth, you can affect a lot of things, and that's a particular one. Yeah. Because there's a guy who's measured because the amount of testosterone in your room also affects how your muscles develop, and that can be predicted for like speed or running in terms of Olympic sport. He claims to be able to judge the winners of an Olympic sport based solely on the difference in that ratio. He's right 70% of the time, which is much better than chance. Yeah. Ah, good question. Which one?
We're playing you like adding like 2 minutes. Where we
Yeah, all of these are mRNA. Okay. So it also tells you, like, yes,
But you should say it with an at the end.
TNR has to, the point of tRNA is that it exists. It physically has to magically carry the amino acid there. So we know it exists. You could make a tRNA table and then we can do it from that way. You just jump.
Yeah, what's that mean?
But we use DNA every time. I mean, in a different universe, we could make DNA table. Right, we could go back one step and say this is what it should be. But because DNA gets spliced up, the mRNA made it different, and so we use that as the final one. Yeah. Karen?
Okay.
What? What does that have to do with anything?
We're,
I don't know.
we're talking about the scientific terms of TSM.
X-rays look through things.
Yeah. So, by the way, when you're in security, is it dangerous to have those X-rays so close to you?
I don't think they use, sorry, was your shield
Yeah.
right? Yeah, no, they're shielded, so you're fine. Also, it's way more dangerous. Have you ever been on an international flight, like always Atlantic?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get more X-rays than that in the security process because you're going above the protected layer of the atmosphere. You're getting like a tenth to 2/10 of an X-ray. It's just like so if you do a lot of those in a year, you can actually really increase your radiation exposure. I know people who work for TRIUS. They have particle accelerating UBC, the Tri-University Museum facility at the University of British Columbia. I worked there for a term. They actually have to limit their international flights because they're already getting exposed to radiation in the lab, and that can put them above their their yearly allowance. They go above their yearly allowance, they're not allowed to work in the lab. So you actually get more from that. You get slightly more from bananas than any other fruit. Yeah, because they contain a lot of potassium. Potassium is a higher amount of radioactive acid.
As a fighter pilot, you're like a fighter.
As a what? Oh yeah, you go around all the time.
Wait, how do I know they can steal anything? Oh, wait.
Because you trust them.
There's
Our
nothing.
society runs on trust. How do I know? Students don't use ChatGPT for everything.
Hey, doesn't it tell you if we use it on the school Wi-Fi?
There's no.
Really?
But you have a cell phone. You can have that. If you're worried about that, you can have a network outside.
That's true. I use that all the time.
Have you noticed that a lot of teachers don't put a lot of marks into stuff you do in prep, and that's mostly formative, and all the work they actually mark is what you do in the classroom?
Really?
Haven't you noticed that?
No.
That's why, because if ChatGPT is doing all your thinking, we can't tell if you've actually learned anything. So I give you the worksheets, I give you the answers, and then you get a quiz in class.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it's done. ChatGPT actually did really different. You've been able to buy answers and buy people who will fill out your worksheets and write your essays for very cheap for a very long time.
How much money would you make from that?
Make from that?
Yeah.
Not very much, because the people who are doing this are very bright people in countries who have very low wages.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's bad.
Yeah. That's yeah, they're making money.
And they probably just had no desire, because I was
But on the other hand, you're also not learning. Yeah. Hold it. 9:35? What time is this class end? Yeah. Okay, before you go. What's on Saturday?
Quiz.
What's it on?
This thing. Protein.
Not this thing.
No, not
Transcription
this.
and translation. It's on the Google Classroom. Thank you very much. Do you have your workbook? That will be if comes to you this afternoon, that would be a useful thing because that will ask you questions and then you can answer them. There's also a worksheet. That would be a good thing to work on as well.
That's what we talked about that call.
He has like, Max is like still like 10 minutes. There's people that have given other people that have
You two recorded
like all the way through school and university and so on. And then later on, they just pay them to do for cheap.
Eventually that runs
Because they have
yeah.
all their education and
And they're good enough. But eventually that usually runs out because the odds are you're doing something that is so easily moved to over, like, an assignment someone can do somewhere else. But a lot of the aspects of your job is you talking to people right there.
Well, yes, but no. Especially now that a lot of them are from home jobs.
But there's more chance now, but there's still a lot of stuff you have to do on the
And
fly.
beforehand, it used to be like you just send them all the work in email, they'll write it out for you, and like sometimes you just read it out for a presentation.
I suspect it'd be a lot harder than unless you're in computer science, you can set up scripts. Because there have been a few cases.
Oh yeah, my dad
Were
used to
famous
do that
cases where they,
once.
set up bots to do,
Yeah.
automate a bunch of tasks. But if you're already that good, you could probably do the job.
Yeah.
The other thing is these, you don't have to take this away and do it, but this is the project they did. And then what they had to do is there was you'll see it if you go in the Google Classroom. There was a rubric that went with it, and they just had to present it to another group. You could present it to me or a group and show that they knew all the pieces of the rubric using this as a model. You don't have to do this because I can use the quiz and other things. But if you want to do it, you can. And it is a very much like just cut things out, write things out and do it.
Okay.
Okay?
I'll think about that, doing
Yeah,
that part there.
but after you got a quiz, you got to get caught up other things.
Okay.